Nayak, and I'll be of today's session, EDP session, and the topic of the session is company law. The topic itself is very wide and useful for your CS course, and we have with us a very renowned and honorable member of ICSI, senior faculty CS Pradeep Kulkarni sir. One second, please. A small introduction of sir. Sir is a practicing company secretary from Pune. He is a commerce and law graduate and fellow member of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India. He has completed his LLB from DES Law College, Pune. He is into practice for more than 11 years and presently serving a varied clientele ranging from large and listed companies, state government companies, banks, financial institutions, multinational companies, private companies, LLPs, chartered accountant firms, and law firms. He has independently handled corporate mergers of several companies and presently appearing before the NCLT batches in matters relating to corporate restructuring, insolvency and bankruptcy cases, and operation and mismanagement cases. He has been appointed as retainer providing secretarial services by international audit and taxation firms and leading law firms in India. He has been active participant of various chapter activities and has been member of Sahita Committee, Students Committee, PCS Committee, and Program Committee, Pune chapter of ICSI. He is visiting faculty at several commerce and law colleges like Symbiosis International University, ILS Law College, Modern Law College, Pune, and regular faculty of company law at oral tuition coaching at Pune chapter of ICSI. He has also contributed articles in the publication of ICSI and study journals published by other institutes on the topics like life management by company secretaries during COVID era, MSEPC, Sambhadana, alternate recovery mechanism, filing petition before NCLT, etc. His firm Sandeep Kulkarni and Associate is a certified peer-reviewed firm by the Institute of Company Secretaries of India, New Delhi. Okay, sir. Sir, please deliver feedback and guidance to the students in this regard. I welcome you, sir, and over to you, sir.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. First of all, for this introduction to talk with students. First of all, my apologies for not being able to connect on time.
It's okay, sir.
There was some technical issue. I had to switch over the laptop, and finally I got the chance. But the ICSI team has allowed me to extend the time and cover the topic which is there. So basically, I've been given to understand that this is a batch of students who have completed their executive course. They have executive, that is intermediate passed, and I presume, I'm sure, not presume, I'm sure you have quite a good amount of knowledge of company law. And first thing I would confess here is that I won't be teaching law here. Okay, we'll cover up. This is a journey with me in company law, where I'll be covering the practical aspects. I'll be covering the practical aspects of company law. You'll be joining a firm or a company in future, and this is a combination. We will not altogether ignore the theory, but based upon the theoretical knowledge which we have, on the basis of that, we'll see how that is implemented into a practicing company secretary's office or a corporate. So you'll be you are in a phase of students, and you'll be exposed to a corporate in future. What I believe a PCS firm or a company where you do a training is a transformation mechanism, transformation process where a student gets transformed into a professional. So passing examination is one part, which is no doubt it's an equally important part. But another factor is that the training, whatever 15 months training, at that time we had 15 months. I believe now for you all it will be 21 months, somewhere 21, 20. Believe me, it is very important, and it is as good as necessary, or we can say it is more necessary than any exam which you don't take me otherwise. It is fine if you could not clear your exams in first attempt. It is fine, but you must have a knowledge. And sometimes what happens, people are in the process of completing the course, and they take this training casually, practical training. But what happens is, you once you get the membership, you you have to handle the assignments, the big role which we play in the corporate. So if you're not trained well with any PCS firm or have failed over there, so in that case it becomes very difficult. And once the confidence is gone, so it's very difficult to gain it back. With this, I would start with a story why company secretary is important. I'll tell you. I started practicing 11 year back, and with the basically our mother institute ICSI, that name I've been using for 11 years, and it has given so much respect. And when I started individual alone, and sorry, I started alone. I did not have money to purchase laptop also. But today, 4 or 5 company secretaries work for me at my office. We are a good team, and we serve to the companies. Over a period vertically also, I developed myself in last 3 4 years. I've been handling NCLT matters. So the graph, like from your stage, like I was like a student like you only. So casually, don't take it casually, because you're no, see, at the most what will happen if you try to find out shortcuts in training, at the most you will get the degree first. लेकिन जब corporate में जाओगे तो prove कैसे करोगे? I remember times when we never used to thought about 15 months है, 2 years है या 3 years है. My personal experience is normally a person, if you see also international curriculum of courses like us, the training has to be for 3 years. 3 साल आपको अच्छे से तैयार होना चाहिए, तो you have to work for 3 years. 3 years training is required. I remember times when I started CS course and I joined PCS office. So yeah, thank you. So I'll also be sharing practical stories and also cases. I have a PPT to make, and we, as I promised, we won't discuss the provisions of law. And based upon the provisions of law, what a company secretary is expected to do, how he's expected to provide services. See, we have twofold role to play. We act as an in-house company secretary for many companies, and we also, as a PCS, like a practicing company secretary, we provide services to generally small companies, medium scale companies, and sometimes even where their in-house company secretaries are there, we provide services to them also, pre-certification services. See, before starting, I'll tell you, you are going to become professionals. You carry a responsibility of our institute. You'll become a brand ambassador. When you behave or when you act upon something, it is not people who say that Mr. X or Mr. Y is doing something. They'll say that, अरे यार company secretary ऐसे करता है, ये CS का ये knowledge है. So that's sometimes very difficult. Then there may be different reasons for such type of situation. But you always keep in mind that you are professional. Go to company law. If you have read the definition of expert, we should feel proud that the definition of expert contains the word company secretary. Again, the word K managerial persons carry us, and it's not for theory purpose. Practically, it is there. We get that respect everywhere, provided you are able to advise your management properly. Okay, yes, it includes company secretary, right? So proud, very proud feeling for us. And again, like I said, it carries a risk and responsibility also. You have to advise the directors on a particular matter. Many times when we deal across the certain stories, my PPT, I'll explain you certain experiences also. Please allow me to start the we can discuss this question: how to start a practice. Is it necessary for a firm to PCS partnership form 2? Okay, we'll take up your questions. I don't know whether you have an access to. Please allow me to start with the PPT. Okay, I'll share this PPT. We'll go through the provisions one by one. See, what I understand is you'll be joining of any office, any company you will be joining. So there, basically, when you join a office of a PCS or a company, certain expectations are there. Okay, certain expectations are there. I have seen many things nowadays. The sad part is also that at our times, I never used to say this. Nowadays, the sad part is that when a CV comes, trainee का कोई CV आता है मेरे पास, so he has worked already with 2-3 company secretaries for 3 months. 3 महीने किसी CS के पास काम करता है. So why these things are happening? I suggest don't do that. Don't keep an approach. All company secretaries are good. Okay, and when you come out of comfort zone, it is then the success is there. Okay, so that's why don't keep that approach. एक बार कोई अच्छी firm ढूंढ लेना. I'm not saying that don't change the firm, but as far as possible, try to complete, because there is a season. There is a season in the office of a company secretary. Annual filing season is there. Event-based filing is there. So you have to see the entire process. आप 2 महीने, 3 महीने या 8 महीने काम करोगे, तो आपको पूरा फील नहीं आता है उससे, एंड ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दैट ऑन 2-3 मंथ्स पीपल कंक्लूड दैट अरे नहीं यार, सीएस में कोई स्कोप ही नहीं है, कंपनी सेक्रेटरी क्या है यार, कोई वैल्यू नहीं है, लोगों को पता ही नहीं है. सो दैट इज टोटली रॉन्ग. दैट इज व्हाट आई थिंक. इंस्टीट्यूट हैज गिवन मी एवरीथिंग. My wife is also a company secretary and she's into employment, so I can comment on both the aspects. I know employment side as well. Plus, we also undertake audits. I have associates, my trainees working with corporates. So, first of all, most important thing is your approach and attitude towards the profession. You are great, and you have to be great in order to prove yourself as great in the organization. I hope you're able to see this presentation. We'll start with presentation. Can somebody tell me? Yeah, great. So let's start with the presentation. I'll not do the PPT because what happens if I lose the connectivity? It becomes difficult. See, the topic which was given to me was practical problems under company law. So let's not use the word practical problems. Okay, we call it as practical aspects. So I'm here to throw a light based upon your theoretical knowledge. I'm here to tell you as to how the knowledge is used, how the provisions of incorporation, what happens, how company formation takes place, and how practically we work in office or provide services to the clients. So this is a summary of presentation. डर मत जाना ये पूरा देख के. So I won't be going into theory as I promised, but I'll be touching on provisions and sharing you the practical stories, practical aspects of this. First of all, let's start with this. First of all, Companies Act 2013. This is the latest enactment, Companies Act, and contains 470 sections, 29 chapters, 7 schedules. And as a company secretary, you have to be expert and well versed with the rules, regulations, circulars which are available on the website of Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Also, you might be having BEAR Act also. So pursuant to section 465, all the provisions of Companies Act, old Companies Act, that is 1956, are gone. Those are dead. And now if you see, only producer companies provisions are there. Section 581, if you remember. Almost all the provisions are there, barring few provisions are there. Provisions, and plus these provisions are there pertaining to producer companies. Those are still there. It is being said that eventually there will be a separate law for producer companies. Okay, in that case, this will not form part of a new Companies Act. That's why that has been excluded. Section 581, those producer companies. If you remember, theoretically, we had done that in the executive level. Moving forward, see, please understand, in the introduction session only, if you remember the first chapter of your executive module, company, we learned that company is a separate legal entity distinct from its members. So the basic structure of a company should always be kept in mind, and a company and distribution of its powers. The powers of a company are distributed at two levels. Firstly, the board of directors, they are the brain of the company and manage day-to-day affairs of the company. Okay. And secondly, the shareholders. Imagine a company like Tata Motors Limited or Reliance Industries Limited, where we are shareholders. Okay. We are the shareholders. As the shareholders, we have certain rights. And so a company is controlled at two levels. Firstly, the board of directors control it. Any decision in respect of a company is taken at board of directors level first. Okay. Then it comes to the second level, to the shareholders. Certain important major decisions are there. A company is an artificial person, does not you that's why you cannot see it. So it is seen how you can identify a company. Firstly, sir, am I audible? Hello. Yeah, thank you. Please check the connectivity. Okay, fine. So about the company. So company is a artificial person, and if you remember Solomon was a case, and even a hydrogen bomb cannot destroy a company. Members may come, members may go. It's perpetual succession. I have a company which was registered 200 years back in Belgium. In India, it is there for 30-35 years. So there are such old companies which keep on functioning. Even in India, we have examples. ITC Limited, that is formed in 1910 under the old Companies Act of 1913. So the goes on forever, and company goes on forever. So you as a company secretary should firstly be well versed with theoretical aspects and also the conceptual clarity. Okay, any decision in a company a single person cannot take. Whatever decision a director takes, okay, he has to have an authority by way of a resolution. any decision of a company should be taken by at a company. Yeah, Tata or Reliance, the board of directors are the people who drive it. Okay, बस है तो okay, what's the difference between company and body corporate? It is a wider term. If you see, the definitions are there in the Companies Act. Body corporate means why the definition is there is in order to include certain order to include certain foreign companies को include करने के लिए इन्होंने body corporate define किया है. Body corporate is a wider concept. Body corporate includes a company and company does body corporate. We're discussing about okay, I'll talk about advantages. जिसे खत्म कर को दिखाना चाहता हूँ actually इसमें, and then we'll question answer session. अभी मैं question नहीं देखता हूँ आपके chat box में, बाद में आते हैं. Okay, so always keep in mind before going any theoretical aspect firm expects from you. ऐसा क्यों होता है ज्यादा कि है क्या, सैटरडे संडे ऑफ है क्या, और आने जाने के लिए बस है क्या, वहाँ पे खाना मिलता है क्या. सी स्टूडेंट्स, अभी आप 40, 50 और 60 एज के नहीं हो कि आप रिटायरमेंट जैसे देखोगे कि मेरे लिए सैटरडे संडे ऑफ है क्या. सी आई एम नॉट सेइंग यू वर्क फॉर 24 आवर्स, बट यू शुड गिव जस्टिस टू योर डिग्री. वॉट एवर यू आर डूइंग इज योर इन्वेस्टमेंट. Okay, it is your investment, whatever you are doing is, and you are investing your time, your value, your money. और 2-3 साल आप अच्छे से ट्रेनिंग करोगे ना, तो अगेन 40-30 years, नेक्स्ट 30-40 years आपको ये प्रोफेशन परस्यू करना है. बिलीव मी, दूसरा कुछ करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है आपको. सच अ ह्यूज अमाउंट ऑफ स्कोप इज देयर, वेदर इट मे बी एम्प्लॉयमेंट और इट मे बी प्रैक्टिस. थोड़ा टाइम लगता है इनिशियली, बट इट्स लाइक आप सोना हो तो आपको सोने का भाव ही मिलेगा, आप चांदी हो तो आपको चांदी का भाव मिलेगा. तो आप जैसे हो वैसा आपका वैल्यू है. देयर आर मेनी पीपल्स हु आर नॉट प्रोफेशनल्स. ओके, मेनी पीपल आर देसी, ये सीएस भी नहीं है, लेकिन काम ऐसा करते कि उनके पास 5-6 कंपनी सेक्रेटरीज काम करते हैं. ओके, सो मूविंग फॉरवर्ड, लेट्स सी व्हाट आई वांट टू शो इट टू यू. ये कंपनी लॉ था अपना, जो ये अपना एग्जिस्टिंग लॉ है. आई विल शो यू एमसीए वेबसाइट. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू सीन एमसीए वेबसाइट? आप लोगों के कितने लोगों ने एमसीए वेबसाइट देखी है? Good. So many of you have seen, and let's go to quickly go to the MCA website. जिन्होंने नहीं देखी है उनके लिए हम ये 5 मिनट MCA वेबसाइट दिखा देते हैं. ये अपनी पंडरी है बोलते हैं हम. We have to work on this website. Okay, and there are certain services which are two kinds of services. Firstly, some services are available free of cost, and secondly, some services are available on paid basis and login basis. Okay. So here the best thing is company law ebook. So what to learn from here is the ebook. This is a fantastic area where आपके मोबाइल के ऊपर भी आप ये एक्सेस करोगे. तो whenever you visit your client or your office, ये आपके हमेशा, I understand there are also different apps, but many apps are blocked by certain or banned by some mobiles, not supporting any mobile. So this is a web based. I have already, if you see, that is added into my bookmark section, Companies Act. So here this is a ebook where you can see all the basically sections of Companies Act. ये सारे sections यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं, rules है. These are updated, up to date provisions of Companies Act. So this is important for us. Then if we move ahead, all the latest notifications, rules, regulations are there over here. Here there are rules. So you can see the provisions from here. आपले पण yes. Basic what our company law is the area where is basic bread and butter of a company secretary. Apart from that, I'll also focus on that you should focus on different areas also. So many areas are there. Let's take an example. Say suppose I'll share you how to see a master data of a company. Say so you can find a company like this. Now you're able to see this master data. So this is the master data. This company, many of you must have heard this name, Rachel Entertainment. I am not fan of this celebrity, but ऐसा ही कुछ याद रह जाए आपको, इसलिए मैंने एक थोड़ा सा ऐसा वेल नोन कंपनी का प्रोफाइल ओपन किया है. यू आर एबल टू सी दिस. Okay, I'll come to your questions later on. Okay, आप post कर. This is master data. Basically, what you understand from this is CIM. This is a free service which MCA provides. Again, index of charges भी होता है, where we can see the index of charges. Okay, that is loan and charges registered in the name of a company. Here there is a charge. See, hypothecation is there. We have a topic, a discussion on that also. I'll touch upon those provisions also. Then this is Shah Rukh Khan, his wife have floated their company. This can be downloaded in Excel. And recently they made change in the role check. If you remember role check, signatory details, now they hide the address of director. After so many years, after 10 years, they have realized of confidentiality. But now they have hidden the address. You are not able to see the address of any director. So this is about master data, index of charges, role check. You can get basic information of all the companies which are registered in India on this website. Again, in the MCA services, these are the several services. DAC, digital signature. I'll also explain what DIN and DAC is there and what is the present methodology on that. This is the master data. Director information can also be seen in this. On the basis of DIN, you can find it out. LLP, earlier there was a separate website for LLP. They have merged this into this only. NIC was the website previously. Later on, they realized that we are only increasing our work by having two websites and same authority. So they merged this into LLP also here only. Here you can check the availability of name. At the time of discussion of incorporation, I'll cover this also. Now this is about the services. This is run service, this is Spice Plus. If you see this, there is lock over here. So here these services are login based services. Here you can track your transactions. Here there are contact details of all the ministry persons. This is a database. You can see how many companies are there, what is the functioning in which state, how many companies are there. So last month, which companies are registered with name and CIN, they provide the details. So this is MCA services. See, every year a company submits. You might be aware that every year a company submits annual filing and event-based filing with ROC. So those are public documents. Those are available in public domain. And from here, get certified copies and view public document. Whatever documents are filed with registrar of companies are public documents. Your filing returns means you are complying with the provisions of the law. Okay, I'll come to that difference. Incorporation also. Incorporation के time पे ले लेते हैं ये question. या बाद में हम सारे questions ले सकते हैं. So fine. So okay, we can skip certain points which are repetitive, but I don't know what's your schedule. So from here you can get certified copies. This has an evidential value in the court of law. Whenever I appear in NCLT and some annual return or something has to be presented. Okay. So when I appear before NCLT, so in that case, this has evidential value. We take certified copies from register of companies. So if somebody has covered this, I'll just touch upon this slide and we'll quickly proceed. Master data, I showed you. Signatory details, there is another field through signatory details can be seen, but at the bottom we read the name of directors. That was signatory details. Index of charges means an area where charges or loan taken by the company can be seen. Login based services are there. After login, there is a different homepage appears. Company law ebook I showed, which is important for us. There is also an area e-forms, fee calculator. Okay. Say suppose you want to do some say increase in authorized capital where the fees are very high. Here fee calculation tab is there. At our training times, I remember we used to manually calculate these fees. In my training diary at the back side, there was a chart, and we had made that by heart. So we can also calculate these fees today also without. Yeah, I'll show you the e-forms. So we can calculate the fees, certain fees, even referring to this chart. And nowadays, additional fees is 100 rupees per day. Earlier, it was 2 times, 4 times, 6 times, and all. But straight away, 100 rupees additional fees there. So this is helpful for you when you do training, undertake training, and some increase in authorized capital or some kind of activity. So there you can see the fees. Then let's come to e-forms. Here there is a section where e-forms are there. Okay, these forms, the left hand side, the same form is there with instruction kit. On the right hand side, it is regular forms. Every day we do not download it from instruction sheet. Okay, from the instruction sheet. So on the right hand side, these forms, different purposes are there for these forms are submitted online. Okay, DR3 C, this is a rarely used form. Now this whenever a person is not there on the roll check, he can be added through back office. CRL, CRA, cost audit report. Okay, this is the purpose for which form is there. ADT2, okay, removal of auditor. When we deal with the provisions of auditor, this is the removal of auditor. Section 8 company. So these are the forms which can be downloaded, okay, and they can be opened. They are filled up. A digital signature is affixed to those forms, and then they are submitted. And sometimes, in case of small companies, there is no pre-certification. That means only director of a company can sign the form and submit. So big companies, it is the certification of CA, CS or CWA. तीन लोगों का किसी का भी एक का certification, you have to mention the membership number, and then you are able to allow to submit the form. The fees are deducted online. Okay. Yeah, the latest version is available. It may happen sometimes that you fill up the form, and sometimes you send it for bank. Generally, it happens in case of. So you fill up the form, and your training most relevant forms I'll tell you. Okay, I have made a list of that also. AOC4 and AOC4 XBRL. And when we come to that slide, you only tell me what is the purpose of those forms. Okay. So this is about the forms. Here also in the right hand corner there are LLP forms also available. You can click over here, and these are the LLP forms. Very less form, very less small piece of enactment. But similar kind of forms are there. There is some forms are there where STP is not there. That is straight through process. Okay, so this is about MCA website on which we work as far as provision of companies or company law compliance is concerned. I have also noticed one thing in last couple of years. A similar kind of everywhere government is going online. A similar kind of website you will find it for DGFT, that is for import export code, or LEI, that is obtaining LEI number, or trademark registration or IPR, for NCLT, for copyright registration. So different authorities, different websites are there where we pursue those assignments. We carry out those assignments also. So at that time, you need to visit the respective website. So this was about MCA website. Let's come to proceed further, and let's come to Dean Director's Identification Number. I am sure you must be aware about this number, and it might have covered. Okay, we'll see some form. Okay, faculty might have covered. I'll try to touch up some other point relating to this. Yeah, quickly I'll wrap it up because this is not something big to discuss. Director's identification number. I remember 2006. Earlier it was not there when I was in my training. 2006 September 2006 2007 it started, and earlier it was optional and the process was totally different. We used to fill up the form, online application form भरते थे, and then used to generate a request that used to be printed. ID address proof used to be attached to it, and we used to send that to Noida थ्रू कुरियर से हम भेजते थे वो, और कुरियर पहुंचने के बाद 3 दिन के बाद 4 दिन के बाद वो अप्रूव हो जाता था. नाउ यू गेट डीन इन 2 after applying for a dean. Now recently 2-3 years back a change happened. Now nobody can straight away go and obtain a dean in a company. There are only 2 methods available for obtaining a dean now. Firstly, when you're registering a new company, at that time a dean is allotted. You need not pay any fees for that. Okay, वहाँ पे fees भरनी नहीं पड़ती है. So Spice, or now Spice Plus is there. Spice is not there now. Spice Plus has come. I'll that Spice Plus that is there. And secondly, the method is where there is existing company. Let's take an example of Tata Motors Limited, and Mr. X is proposed to be appointed as a director in Tata Motors Limited. So in that case, a resolution is passed that yes, we wish to appoint this person as a director company, and only then his dean can be obtained. Why this has happened? Earlier this was available. Now professional certification they have removed. So दो ही मेथड है जिससे आपको डीन मिल सकता है, at the time of company or LLP formation, or at the when you are proposed to be appointed as a director. So this is a unique identification number. Obtaining two dean is, you cannot do that just like PAN, income tax PAN जैसे होता है, और एक बार ये नंबर अलॉट हो जाता है, this number remains for life. Okay, can you imagine एक नंबर डीन किसका है, किसी को पता है? नंबर 1 डीन, एक नंबर का डीन, they are serially issued, right? Anybody has an idea? Just post it in chat box. Yes, it is Ratan Tata, right? I remember out of curiosity ऐसे ही हम डाल के बैठे थे. Yes. Yeah, so Ratan Tata is the first director. TCS had that. Not only that, people have respect for him and TCS. तो ऐसे ही big firms है जो big companies are there. Initial 100 पहले जो डीन है, तो ऐसे big shot लोग हैं सारे. There's no story behind it. There's no logic. Basically, TCS to अभी ये वेबसाइट जो है, this website is being managed by Infosys. When this started, earlier physical filing we used to do. When I did my training, we used to physically fill up the forms, and we used to go to the ROC. Yeah, I'll explain the process that also. Okay, how do we obtain a dean in case of existing company? So we used to physically submit the documents before the ROC previously, and later on it was thought that entire data should go and everybody should go online. So lots of company, we have seen that phase also, physical era. So I feel myself lucky enough. Even my age company secretaries are there who haven't seen that physical era, because I joined PCS office, initially CA office, PCS तो ज़्यादा नहीं हुआ करते थे तभी, after 12th standard only. 12वीं होने के बाद ही CS foundation में मैंने admission ले लिया था, and I joined the CS office, and that helped me a lot. So while entering into practice only, I had 8-10 years experience at the age of 24. I cleared all my final groups in first attempt, all 3 groups, and immediately I started practice because I had experience. Like I shared with you, experience is very important. डिग्री तो सबके पास होती है, डिग्री होनी ही चाहिए, उसके तो खड़ा भी नहीं करेंगे आपको, लेकिन एक्सपीरियंस, हैंडलिंग ऑफ असाइनमेंट एंड दैट कॉन्फिडेंस कम्स ओनली व्हेन यू एक्चुअली डू द वर्क. So don't avoid any PCS office, any assignment. The more work you do, the more perfect you will become. Coming back to Dean, so there are obtaining Dean. When you register a new company, so you're automatically issued a Dean. Now they have a methodology of issuing 5 Dean also in producer company. So normally 3 Dean. In case of regular company, 3 directors identification number can be issued free of cost. Then if more than those 3 directors are there, in that case you can obtain the Dean after formation of a company, because you have an existing company. Okay. Method, somebody asked me that what's the second method of obtaining dean. Say suppose there is a private limited company and I am proposed to be appointed as a director over there. Usme already 3 director hai and I am proposed to be appointed as a director over there. What they do, initial discussion takes place in the board meeting. They say that okay, Mr. Sandeep Kulkarni has to be appointed a director in the company, and they pass a resolution to that effect. We take that. Actually, law is sometimes ambiguous at some places, but we take that because in dean application, that is DIR3 form, they ask for this copy. So that needs an authority, and with the digital signature, my own digital signature, that is applicant's digital signature, which was not mandatory earlier. But first I have to have a digital signature before obtaining a dean. So first dean has to be obtained, and the other director of that particular company will sign the form, and then you are able to obtain the dean. So 2 methods of dean: first formation of company or LLP, and getting appointed in any existing company. Otherwise कोई भी जाके पैन कार्ड जैसा अप्लाई करके आप डीन नहीं अप्लाई कर सकता. Earlier that facility was available upon payment of 500 rupees, used to allowed to apply. But today, if I'm not proposed to be appointed, I don't want to register a company, I cannot have dean. I cannot obtain a dean from MC website. Okay, unique identification number mandatory to obtain before appointment. Many times I'll tell you practical example what happens. A board of directors, your company's board of directors pass a resolution. Foreigner hote, recently happened in my case. Those are foreigners and they don't know all these technical procedures and provisions. What they do is they pass a resolution for appointment of a director without having a dean only. So some companies have a practice of following that. Okay, Mr. So and so be appointed as a director of a company subject to availability of his dean, and his appointment will be valid from the date he obtains the dean. So law clearly states that whosoever wants to act as a director company must have a dean first. So as a company secretary, you should advise your director Okay, sir, tell us well in advance. So your director will ask, this person is there, my friend, he's expert in particular area and he wants into a company. Okay. So he wants to get appointed as a director in a company, and a dean has to be obtained for him. So you should first tell him, sir, does he already have a dean? Does he already have a digital signature? If not, then first only after obtaining a dean we can appoint him as a director. So having dean is important. Modes of obtaining dean, we saw there are two methods of obtaining dean. Firstly, जब कंपनी रजिस्टर करते हैं तब डीन आएगा, या आई एम एग्जिस्टिंग पर्सन, एक नॉर्मल पर्सन जिसको एक एग्जिस्टिंग कंपनी में अपॉइंट करना है, तो with the digital signature of that particular company, only those two methods are there by which a form can be filed and dean can be obtained. Now one more compliance is there, KYC compliance and blocking of dean. So this is annual compliance. Okay, this is an annual compliance. Any person, what happens, ministry, basically why these provisions are there, we do the filing, we do the submission, a database is collected at Delhi में database collect होता है, and there are certain cases which are of very serious nature. There are cases we are, when you come into the corporate world, there is also a darker side. Okay, where what people do, they submit fake documents. There are documents, but there is no person behind those documents. ऐसे on paper create करते हैं. So I've seen cases in my ROC training. Okay, I have seen some cases in ROC training where few people registered the company, and on the subscription pages, out of 7 people, 4 people were not there. ऐसे लोग दुनिया में नहीं थे कोई. So how this can happen? तो existing 2-3 लोग थे, उन्होंने क्या किया, fake signatures कर दिए. They obtained fake, किसी का भी पैन कार्ड अप्लाई कर दिया ऐसे ही. So that's why these practices are there. KYC compliance and all these things are there. That every year, that's digital signature. Many of you might be aware. Video verification, OTP verification, all these. Why they have brought in is that people have multiple dean. बहुत सारे डीन है. Okay, जिसको दिमाग उल्टा चलता है, जिसका wrong practices. So they have several ways of carrying out wrong practices. Just to give quick examples: obtaining fake dean, obtaining duplicate dean, using the director's identification number of a person who is dead. You as a company secretary, sometimes it may happen that some senior elderly person who dies. Okay, in that case, what you advise the management is, sir, उनका death हो गया है, the dean is there, better we surrender that dean. Under that would deactivate कर लेते हैं, because if that remains open, there is a possibility that this can be misused. So these are practical problems. That's why now the date is April to September. Every year, every director has to do a KYC compliance. Suppose the person's KYC is done, for that same year, system does not allow you to do the KYC. किसी एक बंदे ने KYC कर दिया है और बाद में वापस, अरे मुझे पता नहीं मेरा KYC हुआ. So you go and try doing the KYC. It will give an SRN that this KYC has already been done for this financial year. Wide SRN, so and so. Okay, so that's about KYC. Change in particulars of dean. There is a form called as form DR3 KYC. Company law prescribes that, if you remember the provisions, company law prescribes that pursuant to, if at all any changes are there, changes means कोई लड़की है जिसकी शादी हो जाती है, उसका नाम चेंज हो जाता है. Okay, yeah, I will do it. Thanks. So if at all any changes there, form DR6 has to be filed. Okay, and to that effect, information has to be given. DR6, some people say it's a duplication of KYC, but presently we follow both the practices. KYC also serves the purpose of updating the dean database. So KYC में dean update भी हो जाता है. Okay, due date is 30 days from the date of change. In case of KYC, it is April to September. अभी 30th September date कर दिया उन्होंने. Otherwise 5,000 rupees is penalty. Okay. Then change in particulars of dean, we saw duplicate dean. If at all, अभी duplicate dean presently in the current scenario, it's very very difficult unless you have a duplicate PAN. दो PAN नंबर रहेंगे गलती से निकले हुए, तो दो dean हो सकते हैं. Why duplicate dean provision is there? I tell you earlier, it's quite possible that there is a group of 15-16 companies. Okay, out of which 8 companies I am looking for. Another 4-5 companies, some other company secretaries looking, and another 2 companies, some new company secretaries looking, and directors are there who are common in all the group. So what happens? That's a miscommunication, and the person who is acting as a director, he doesn't know. He gives the documents to all the people for obtaining the dean or KYC previously, where there was no tracking to PAN. Only on the basis of passport you could obtain the dean. So that's why there are in system, sir, people. Some people are there where 4, 5, 6 deans are also obtained. So there is, by mistake, it is possible that multiple dean हो सकते हैं. In that case, if you find your director has been, there is a multiple dean, you can apply to MC Dean Cell Noida and you can get the dean cancelled. There is another scenario where people obtain multiple dean. Now that is not possible because they're tracked by PAN, Aadhaar card number, OTP. The system immediately gives an error. If at all you try to obtain a new dean for any person, that person doesn't remember. It happens. उसको याद नहीं है कि पहले कंपनी में dean निकाला था उसका. Is there any maximum limit for holding dean? I didn't get you by this question, but okay, I'll come to questions later on. So surrender of dean, I think it's DIR 5. I think it's for surrender of dean. Okay. One more thing, section 8. Always remember that whenever you write a name of any director, whenever you write a name of any director in any document, whether it may be notice, whether it may be balance sheet or everywhere, the dean has to be mentioned. To be mentioned below that. So every director has to disclose the dean. Like a company, for a company, if you remember section 12, company has to mention certain details on its publication. Okay. Okay. A bit fast, we'll go slowly. Fine. So this is surrender of dean. And this was about dean. And moving forward, let's see digital signature. How many of you have seen digital signature? किसको digital signature पता है? Okay, I'll story 6 years back. Great. So many of you have seen. For those who haven't seen it, I'll show this. And these are not the only tokens. There are different types of digital signatures. Okay. And if you can see this video, this is my digital signature. Okay. This is a token. This is I think a bit inferior quality pen drive because the purpose is only to hold a small software. Okay. So this is a digital signature. It has a password. Okay. And it has a validity, or it has a value of your actual signature. Quick story about this. I remember a chartered accountant to which we asked his digital signature. और उन्होंने क्या किया पता है? Very senior person. He took a पेज एंड ही साइंड द डॉक्यूमेंट फिजिकली, वो स्कैन कर दिया, ईमेल में अटैच करके भेज दिया कि ये लो मेरा डिजिटल सिग्नेचर आ गया. So apart from funny part, many people did not have the knowledge at that time. But of income tax and everywhere the digital signature is being used, so awareness is there. But the initial days, this kind of scenario used to happen. Let's discuss quickly about digital signature. Okay, firstly for MCA website, class 2 digital signature is required. There are different types of digital signature. Class 1 DAC generally government officers use. Class 2 income tax, provident fund, trademark, or MCA website, all these government officers website, class 2 digital signature, DAC. Almost 70-80% places class 2 digital signature is used. Class 3 digital signature is with encryption with additional certificate आता है उसका. Bit difficult process to obtain, bit lengthy process, bit costly process, but this is required for tendering. There are certain government websites which require obtaining class 3 digital signature. There is also another category called as N-exempt digital signature when you submit any application to DGFT generally, or any import export or custom people. So apart from this, there are also other digital categories also, but 6, 7, 8 types of digital signatures are there. We as a company secretary use generally class 2, and if at all if anybody is assisting their company in tendering, then class 3 digital signature must be associated with digital with DIN, obviously, because if this tracking is not there, what I mean by this is आपका digital signature you have to register on the website against your DIN. तो आप जहाँ पे डायरेक्ट हो वहीं पे इसी कंपनी का digital signature लगा सकते हो. नहीं तो मैं आज मेरी digital signature लेके टाटा मोटर्स के रिटर्न अपलोड कर सकता हूँ. So that's a track which MCA system keeps. I'll explain the difference between class 3 and class 2 digital signature. The only thing is that for us ऐसे दिखते हैं सब. For us it looks same only. It's what the content which varies. Class 2 digital signature is generally carries certificate, digital signature certificate, and it is basically required for, and different authorities, government authorities on their website describe that we require for uploading this document you require class 3 digital signature with encryption, without encryption. So based upon the government requirement, based upon that particular agency's requirement, you are required to advise your client or advise your company that we need this kind of digital signature. It is possible that a person already has a class 2 digital signature, but if that is a tender to be submitted to central government, then in that case though class 2 digital signature gives an error that company's name is not there, encryption is not there, in that case you can obtain class 3 digital signature. There are there are certain agencies authorized by Ministry of Corporate Affairs from which you have to. Is it different from company to company? No. You can just to give an example, if you study income tax or if you study company law, income tax अगर सिंघानिया से पढ़ोगे तो वही income tax है, आहूजा गुप्ता से पढ़ोगे तो वही income tax है, से पढ़ोगे तो वही income tax है. So that's the only difference which these different agencies have, so that they have reach at digital signature is same. Class 2 digital signature same होता है. Class 2 digital signature across the country same can be used provided that has been issued by authorized agency, Capricorn, eMudra or MTNL. These are SafeNet. So these are certain companies which issue digital signature. Okay. Validity of digital signature, it is normally valid for 2 years. Now the maximum limit has been made as 3 years after so many representations. We suggested them कि 5 years या 3 years के लिए 5 years या 10 years के digital signature दे दो, because it becomes headache every time to record the video. But it is maximum 3 years that has been kept by ministry. Okay, so must be associated. It has a, I know many companies, and in view of this COVID situation, I know many companies, okay, where actual physical signature is not done. Okay, is not done. It is digitally signed. A document is digitally signed, PDF signed by the companies. So this is about digital signature. We'll take 1 minute break, not break, I'll just a pause so that I can quickly go through your questions. Whatever relevant I feel, I'll take up the questions. नहीं तो बहुत ज़्यादा questions आ रहा है अभी, बहुत हो जाएगा ये तो. We'll quickly see the questions which are more relevant. Another person and do default is using DIN of another person and do default. Then who is liable? Definitely the criminal proceedings come into picture. Actually, practically this is very difficult कि कोई किसी दूसरे का DIN. Yes, government, there is a provision in law. The actual person, the real culprit, will be caught hold of. Initially, सभी लोग पकड़े जाएंगे, and then the burden of proof lies on the person that he doesn't know. And this happens sometimes. This happens in the practicing company secretary office when I was in ROC training. What happened? While typing the DIN of any person of one person was proposed to be appointed. उसके लिए form 32 हुआ करता था पहले. Now it is form DR12. If you have heard the name. So while what the trainee did, he had the resolution and everything. He did the scanning. He attached the form, and while mentioning in form DR12, nowadays we copy that DIN. It's advisable to copy paste. But वो हाथ से लिखते वक्त क्या हुआ? 2 की जगह 1 पड़ गया. Last जो है वो प्रीफिल करके आगे चला गया. He did the prefill, entire data got filled up, name got filled up. The only thing is that casually उसने वो देखा नहीं. He did not see the whose name is prefilled. So some other person's name got prefilled. Okay, and after that, see, voluminous work is there. Not to blame any PCS firm or any. These things happen, but we have to take utmost care. So what happened? Some other person got appointed into the company, and that person was Mumbai based. The thing happened in Pune, and big issue had took place. They had to approach that other person. So it's very difficult practically. Nobody will cooperate and sign you because उसका तो बेचारे का गलती भी नहीं था. But it was a trainee's mistake, and the matter went to the register of companies Pune at that time, and that's why I could know that because I was in ROC training. और ऐसा हुआ है तो ऐसा भी हो सकता है जिंदगी में. So जनरली व्हाट्सएप और ये चीजें और सोशल मीडिया जो है ये पूरा बंद करके रखना चाहिए काम करते वक्त, बिकॉज लाइक आई सेड वी कैरी अ ह्यूज रिस्पांसिबिलिटी एज कंपनी सेक्रेटरी. अपने काम का इंपैक्ट बहुत ज्यादा है, एंड सी बहुत ज्यादा डेंजरस है. दिस इज एन ऑनलाइन सिस्टम. व्हेन यू सबमिट एनीथिंग ऑन द सिस्टम, इट्स अ SAP सिस्टम, ERP सिस्टम, देयर इज नो ऑप्शन फॉर डिलीट. नथिंग कैन बी रिमूव्ड फ्रॉम इट. गलत फाइलिंग हो गया तो हो गया. दैट इज गोइंग टू स्टे देयर फॉर द पीरियड व्हिच मिनिस्ट्री थिंक्स फॉर. 15-20 साल से वैसे ही रहेगा वो. एंड कंपनी सेक्रेटरीज और नॉट ओनली कंपनी सेक्रेटरीज, मेनी प्रोफेशनल्स गेट कॉट बिकॉज ऑफ दिस गलत सर्टिफिकेशन, कैजुअल अप्रोच, नॉट नो Companies Act. When we come to allotment, I'll also share stories where chartered को ऐसा लगता है, with due respect to that profession like that, but उनको लगता है कि हम CS का सारा काम कर सकते हैं. वो क्या होता क्या है? कंपनी सेक्रेटरीज व्हाट दे डू, दे प्रिपेयर द गूगल से कॉपी पेस्ट करते हैं, नाम बदल देते हैं, प्रिंट आउट ले लेते हैं, दे टेक द सिग्नेचर ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स, स्कैन इट एंड सबमिट इट. सी प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड फ्रेंड, फाइलिंग ऑफ फॉर्म्स इज नॉट आवर जॉब. इट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ आवर ड्यूटी, एक छोटी सी ड्यूटी है अपनी फाइलिंग अ फॉर्म, लेकिन दैट इज नॉट आवर रोजी रोटी, दैट इज नॉट आवर वर्क। इफ यू आस्क मी फाइलिंग अ फॉर्म, कोई 10th स्टैंडर्ड फेल हुआ लड़का जिसको मैंने 3 साल ट्रेनिंग दिया मेरे ऑफिस में, तो आप किसी भी ट्रेनिंग से, सीएस ट्रेनिंग से अच्छा फॉर्म फाइल करेगा, ओके। नॉट अंडर एस्टिमेटिंग एनीबडी, बट ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड द इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ दैट वर्क। फॉर्म फाइलिंग इज मेयर फिलिंग अप द डेटा, to be cautious at that time also, but what is important is the advisory services, the knowledge of law, allotment, what are the relevant provisions, and we are compliance officers, we have to verify that all the compliance is perfectly done or not, okay. If somebody is using DIN, law will catch hold of that and the matter will go before the court, he'll be punished definitely. How to affix a digital signature? A digital signature is affixed by a digital signature will attach to the computer, okay. Form will be opened, form will be filled up, there are certain options are available. Now I don't know whether there is any form available for here. This is not my computer laptop. I faced initially the connectivity issue. See, let's see this form. I'm sure you're able to see this. Yeah, this is my form only, but this is laptop. I could not connect from that, but I don't have all the data. So let's see, this gets open. We'll move forward. I'll show you how digital signature is affixed. Can you have multiple DAC in one token? Yes, multiple DAC in token. See, the token is just a pen drive. I told you it's a low quality. Why I'm saying low quality? Because we have a habit of using good quality pen drives, Moser Bear or SanDisk and all those. So this is just the inferior quality, chota quality pen drive, which contains the some you might see in your training that many times earlier token is not removed and you keep on renewing the digital signature on same token. So in that case, all 7, 8, 10 certificates appear over there. I also know one husband and wife who are directors and they have taken their digital signature on single token. एक token में 2 certificate है उनके, so they use the single token only. So I told them why you have done this. एक हो गई तो दोनों के DSC चले जाएंगे. So this is the e-form. This is Philip form. This is for formation of LLP. Not our topic today, but similar forms are there. This way the forms are filled up. Okay, this way the dean is applied. These one person is already having a dean, one is not having a dean. I'm sure you are able to see this. And why I have opened this form is to show you how digital signature is affixed and appear. These are the attachments which we have attached to the form. These are the attachments. Or somebody might have covered this session, but still, Philip form देख लेते हैं एक बार. This is the way the documents are. You will see the attachments in this manner. Okay, and let's come to the digital signature. See, this is the digital signature. This is digital signature. This is my membership details. Okay, and I haven't signed it yet because if I sign my digital signature here, I click on here. I'll have to attach a token over here. Okay, and then select this, sign and save, and then I'll have to enter a password, and then the digital signature will get affixed. Then pre-scrutiny दबा के I'll have to press pre-scrutiny and then I'll be eligible to submit this form. Check form, it checks whether all the details are filled in. Pre-scrutiny requires internet connection. It goes and checks the database. कि already इसका डीन है क्या, already ये पैन के अगेंस्ट कोई डिटेल्स है क्या एमसीए के वेबसाइट पे. So this is about digital signature. I'll give 1 minute more for okay, difference between class 2 and class 3 we saw. More that's according to the requirement of particular agency which requires DAC. More secure DAC is class 3 DAC. More set of documents is required for DAC. Does it differ from company to company? No, digital signature does not differ from company to company. It is director's digital signature. If I'm director in 10 companies, same digital signature can be affixed against for those filing of returns of those 10 companies. Okay, what is pen drive? Pen drive is now you'll have to take IT course for that. Pen drive is a storage device, okay, on which data is stored. Validity of digital signature is 2 to 5 years. Is it in physical only? Yes. Earlier they used to give soft copy, PFX file we used to call to that. Class 3 digital signature में एक certificate PFX में आता है. But for ROC purposes, digital signature is in pen drive only now. If you ये pen drive, if you lose in order to keep a control over that, digital signature is not issued now in software. Earlier मेरा digital signature mail किया है, there was no control. Anybody could use it once that is saved on hardware. So misuse होने लगा उसका बहुत. Is renewal required? Yes, renewal is required for that. Employment practice advantages हम last में ये ले लेते हैं. Employment practice, yes. What if consequences somebody misuse the digital signature? The consequences prima facie are, I'll tell you, the person who digital signature it is. Just imagine a situation where your debit card is lost. Okay, और आपकी हैबिट है डेबिट कार्ड के ऊपर ही आपने क्या कागज चिपका के पिन याद नहीं रहता है, इसलिए वहां पे पिन डाल के रखा है. अरे यार खुला कार्ड दे दिया लोगों, तो एनीबडी विल यूज दैट कार्ड, सो यू विल बी हेल्ड रिस्पांसिबल फॉर दैट. योर security of your digital signature is with you only. Delhi, I don't know. Create a DAC. So we have to create a digital signature for DAC. Yes. In the DEAN application, if you see, an applicant is now also required to obtain a DAC before applying for DEAN. क्योंकि DEAN application में दोनों के साइन लगते हैं. The certifying person, that is the representative of company or professional, as the case may be, and the applicant is now required to have a DAC. So first step for obtaining DEAN is obtaining digital signature. Okay. What's the difference between SPICE and SPICE Plus? We'll move to that slide when we come to company formation. ROC, did you? Yeah, I have done ROC training also. I have done stock exchange training also at that time, and I also got opportunity at that time too, because this phase electronic, and that's why Pune ROC had got very less staff and huge work. So out of contact, they called company secretaries, certain PCS, and उन्होंने कहा कि आपके trainees को भेज दो. So from my firm, I was selected and sent to ROC Pune, and that's why I got an exposure. I worked there for 2 months as a part of my training. So voluntarily वो मिल गया मुझे, fortunately. So I got to learn the system internally. Those who don't know the system, how it internally operates, you should opt for ROC training if it's available somewhere. Very great experience, especially when you're looking to enter into practice. You should have good contacts with ROC officials and everybody. However, in the online era, this has totally changed now. Computer language we should well versed so that we can focus more on working. Okay, computer language. I didn't get you basic computer language issue. So I don't know what this question is, but computer language means you should the maximum work is PDF. Okay, PDF in or Chrome, your browser, Word, Excel, PowerPoint sometimes, and Java. These are the things and your DAC token drivers. Our role on the software इससे बड़ा कुछ करते नहीं हम. AutoCAD and all that, those things are not required to us. Practice will talk. Okay, upload, scan, copy of forms of MC website. No, scan copy you cannot do. You cannot do that. Rare striking of forms are there where this is allowed. Otherwise, no document is uploaded. Whatever you have to submit prima facie is you have to submit it online only. Okay, I'll be a bit slow. I'm sorry, I'm a bit fast. Spice. I don't know why I'm not visible. Am I audible now? No, tally knowledge is not required. I don't think tally knowledge is required. But how that will help you, I tell you. Is required because for uploading forms or use of your digital signature, Java is required. Let's go. We are already there on MCA website. I'll show you here. Here somewhere on the website. See help. Okay, in the help section, there is a section called as. I'm sure you are able to see this. यहाँ पे अगर मैं click करता हूँ ना, so these are the prerequisite software. MC has given this. क्या MCA के website के ऊपर काम करना है. So these are the softwares which we require. So Java it is here. Adobe Reader is there. Advisable to have Adobe Better professional version and paid version. Explore. So इतना ही काम है अपना. Okay, so version. Let's move forward in the PPT. I have to cover the which training is more beneficial, whether for company. See, truly speaking, I'll tell you it's beneficial to work with a PCS, not because I am PCS. Just imagine a situation, a company secretary, now in my office there are 10, 12 company formations going on. Incident cases are there. All kinds of variety of work if you want. Small companies, every day there is director appointment, capital increase, object change, name change, charge registration, charge satisfaction. So core company secretarial training if you want to do, you can join the firm. Plus different firms are employed in, engaged in different activities. Some work in GST, some work in FEMA. So that way, in my view, a PCS firm is best generally for a training because expectations from any. I'll cover this last. There is a last slide. Okay, there is a last slide. Definitely, this is very important, valid question nowadays because the approach has changed. Like I said, पहले लोग क्या करते थे ट्रेनिंग खत्म होने के बाद I even my training sometimes. वैसे भाई नहीं सर ट्रेनिंग खत्म हो गया कब हुआ सर हो गया खत्म तो गाँव क्यों जा रहा है तो सीएस तो फाइनल हुआ नहीं पास why you stop working don't look that training as a formality continue with that firm that definitely helps you be in touch with everybody जो लोग सीएस कर रहे हैं उनसे भी आप टच में रहते हो very bad idea to quit any PCS firm unless you have a big valid reason for that okay even if you have to see getting an opportunity to work with a good corporate अच्छी खासी कंपनी जनरली what the company's requirement is you should be final pass what is difficult in companies is giving a leave आपको अगर corporate में ट्रेनिंग करना है एंट्री बहुत डिफिकल्ट है I tell you why the entry First of all, leave का issue होता है. They don't give leave. Okay. Other benefits are there. You get good amount of stipend. You get a good culture. You get to deal with so many other agencies. Okay. Corporate का exposure मिलता है अंदर से. But core secretarial job, PCS about the work. But a company secretary, आपका जो interview लेगा, technical interview लेगा, वो CS ही रहेगा और lawyer ही रहेगा. And a CS and a lawyer knows कि you can. Yes, you can. There is a pattern, but don't switch in. Pattern 21 months is very less time वो उसमें switch और मत मारना generally choose a best piece and once you choose that don't leave it unless there is some big issue some major serious problems are there but ऐसा होता नहीं कोई 99% all PCS firms are thoroughly professional okay if you are getting an opportunity to work in legal firms no problem join legal firms also okay let's move forward after 5-10 minutes and I'll again take questions and digital signature we are done with let's come to company formation I'll share practical experiences first to answer the question now the form prevailing is Spice Plus form okay so understand how MCA developed over a period. I remember the phase, and luckily I worked in physical era, parallel era, and also the electronic era I'm working. And I've seen this change in last 11 years, how things have changed. And as far as formation is concerned, okay, there was we used to. I remember to my early previous clients, I used to say, sir, for company formation 60 days are required. And what after company formation? PAN card obtain करने के लिए 1 महीना लगेगा. And how much time is required for? और 15 दिन लगेगा. So you can imagine, he has a concept in mind. Okay, he has a patent registered with it. He has orders from multinational companies. 2 महीने आप कंपनी फॉर्मेशन में लगाओगे 1 महीना पैन कार्ड हाथ में आने के लिए जाएगा 15 दिन बैंक अकाउंट के लिए जाएंगे so you can imagine such a frustration 3.5 महीने अगर किसको रुकना apart from that local license are also there so that things have changed our ministry worked our central government studied the systems which are going outside it is being said that see almost all countries have I visited many companies official website company website कैसी होती है उनका फाइलिंग कैसे होता है it's very similar to us the nomenclature changes ours is a system much of based on Singapore system okay what happens there is in 2 hours time you can register a company once your company is registered online okay several services are merged together there is only single authority where you get depending upon sector of your company you get company formation you get local licenses if your company is into manufacturing just to take an example any other registrations applicable to you if foreign funding is involved ALI will be automatically issued so this is everything is linked bank account is also linked okay so a bank account is also linked so by copying दूसरे की अच्छी आदत कॉपी करने में कोई हर्ज नहीं है so what we did is we are copying their system and implemented that after modifying according to our requirement so if you see Spice Plus today what services are merged into it Dean PS निकालते थे फिर Dean अकेला निकालते थे then we used to go for name approval that facility you can still reserve name for 20 days now but form of Spice Plus which gives you basically Dean name company formation permanent number TAN okay TAN भी आता था now what they have added is a bank account you already have a bank account at the time of registration of company only PF ESI number provident fund and ESI number whether you like it or not you have to take it compulsorily if it's not applicable to you you take the number and do the compliance only when the provisions of law become applicable to you but PF ESI is required okay so these are numbers are issued I repeat D you can get from single form Spice Plus. Name application can be made through that only. Company formation takes place through that only. PAN, income tax permanent account number. TAN, in case state of Maharashtra Professional Tax Act, GST, PACFI number, and bank account. These are the 9-10 services which are merged as far as company formation, today's company formation scenario is concerned. Rest of the documents requirement that is same. You require the same set of documents or two identity proof, one address proof in the name of promoter. They should not be mismatched into the documents. And these forms are filled up online. Now the Spice form is divided into two parts. One is name reservation section, and part B is the application for incorporation of a company. You can fill up both the parts at one go, provided you have all the documents and you have you're confident enough that your name will get approved and everything is there well set. In that case, normally 4 5 days, 6 days. Sometimes we even have example that the company get registered in 3 days or 2 days. In the advertisement they say that 24 घंटे में company ले लो, but I personally haven't floated any company in 24 hours. Okay, 2 days or 3 days is the shortest time. So what happens from some reference from Google, from existing clients reference, from chartered accountant, from new incorporation comes to us. Okay, Google not a very advisable source, but from existing reference we are more comfortable. Okay, Google से कोई ढूंढ के आएगा, कोई भी आएगा company formation के लिए. We don't know that person, we don't know what plans he have, what his mentality is. So while selecting also a client also, we as a PCS have to be very cautious. I don't know ये आगे जाके fraud करने वाला है, नीरव मोदी होने वाला है, क्या विजय माल्या होने वाला है. So have to take that everything is perfect, whether this is a genuine activity, and based upon the provisions of company formation. When a person approaches, we collect the documents, and the most important factor and difficult factor is approval of name. Okay, availability of name. To hear see connectivity है ना, क्योंकि question बंद हो गए, so I thought I lost it. I'll keep going on. Like I promised, no theoretical stories. I'll share the practical stories. Name availability. Now, first of all, what first we ask us. Okay, Spice form I'll show you. Spice form. Bharayo OY form. I can show you Spice form. Okay. This also. We did 2-3 Spice forms for Section 8 company. Okay, this is the manner MCA emails are received once approval is there. Okay. Let's proceed. I think if I can show you the Spice form, I'll show it later on because this is not my laptop. I don't have data on this. I'll just try once. Give me 1 minute. Let's try whether I can find it out. I'll show you a filled up Spice form. That is more relevant then. So Spice is a process through which these multiple facilities are merged now. Okay, and else we can simply download the form. Simply download the form which is there on MC website. Is the name? Yeah, this is a license under Section 8. Okay, now that has also gone central now. It is done online. We don't keep certain data on emails. I don't think I have a Spice. Okay, let's try it later on, or we'll download it later then, or we can download the unfilled form. Fill up नहीं किया हुआ है ना ऐसा form we can see Spice forms. That's the part A and part B are there. Assignment. I'll also tell you as a trainee what should be the sequence, what sequence I followed when my boss or my trainer used to give me the assignment. So that sequence I would advise to you also, that will be helpful for you in life. I followed that in my training days also, and I still follow as a PCS whenever any assignment comes. So what practice I have to follow? No, that is login based. I'll be able to download that form. Yes, that is login based form. I have to log into MC website. After that, the Spice form is there in the Spice Plus section. See over here, there is a Spice Plus area. See, Spice Plus is there. He'll ask me for login for this. So once I click there, part A comes. I have to fill up the information, the category of person. Okay. Okay, you have another session, right? Okay, I'll try to wrap up early. Okay, I'll try to wrap up early. Let's come to the slide. Let's focus on slide. And name availability. Now there are 2 areas where name availability can be checked. Many of you might be aware, on MCA website you have to go there, check name availability is there. If the company cannot be registered as per incorporation rules, company cannot be registered with same and similar names. Okay. Okay. Thanks. I'll continue. I'll ask the moderator till what can continue because I agree we started late. So name availability, it is if you have registered trademark with that name, even if a company is not there, but somebody has a registered trademark, say Chithale Bandhu, I have to register a company with Chithale Bandhu or Haldiram. In that case, I cannot use that name. So before assuring your client or your management that yes, sir, we can get this name. So very generalized names are not available. Okay, for taking up, if there is a registered trademark, company with same and similar names cannot be issued. And apart from that, certain words like India, Maharashtra. So any word which is giving the impression that your company is a state government or central government company, so those categories name will be rejected. Apart from that, certain classes of companies are there which require additional registrations. Okay, like insurance companies there, so RDS approval is required. NBFC is there, so RBI approval is required. These factors are to be consideration if you are in meaning of securities laws. So in that case, SEBI version, SEBI license is also required. So in that case, necessary declarations are to be attached to that effect, and there is a capital requirement for that. Just to give an example, आपको अगर NBFC register करनी है, so initially only you have to keep a capital. In that case, you are allowed to use that particular word, say finance, XYZ finance, XYZ capital, XYZ wealth creators, XYZ portfolio manager, XYZ insurance services. So those words are only allowed subject to compliance of those particular guidelines under different laws. So while giving the registration certificate, ROC will insist you and also take an undertaking from you that you are registering a specialized category of company, and after registration of this company, you promise us that you will approach the registrar of the particular authority and get a clearance and license from them. Okay. So effect of registration, once the company is registered, that becomes a separate legal entity. We already discussed this. Commencement of business, this is formality which is added now. Okay, this new formality added, and within 6 months time, 180 days from the date of formation. Earlier, what used to happen? Company used to be registered, and people who have subscribed to the shares, that 50 lakh rupees subscription money I'll pay, they never used to bring the money. So now this has stopped. Now you have to, within 6 months, you are expected to bring in the money, and you have to submit a form called as 20A, that is commencement of business form. That is not applicable to Section 8 companies. They are exempt from this. Okay. Calculate registration fees. Registration fee, I showed you the calculator, up to 15 lakhs rupees. Okay, up to 15 lakhs rupees, there is no registration fee payable. However, if your company is being registered in state of Maharashtra, so for Maharashtra, stamp duty on articles of association is for every 5 lakhs rupees, 1,000 rupees is the stamp duty. Every 5 lakhs or part thereof. So that way it is calculated. Okay, stamp duty limit has not changed. Okay. Thank you so much. I hope I'm giving valuating points. Okay, these are straight from my office, my practical experiences. Now company registered and later it is proved that is fraud. Okay, now this is a different provision under the old Companies Act, New Companies Act. पहले क्या हुआ? Once we register a company and it is later on proved so irrespective of what happened, once the certificate is there, fraud se company register kiye, so first of all it will be a valid company. So that's fine. In order to protect the investor persons who are dealt with that company, to protect them, that provision was there. Here similar provision is there, but again the effect is that NCLT has a power to take certain actions. आपने अगर हेरा फेरी फिर हेरा फेरी educated people who invest in such schemes. Okay, invest in such scheme and get cheated. So in that case, NCA got power to take certain actions against them. Special provisions in case of foreign nationals. You might be given an assignment into your firm, your office. Okay, for handling. So what all factors have to be taken into account? Firstly, when it is a subsidiary holding company, whether they have a global trademark. They have a trademark. So generally, कैसे होता है? Now suppose it is Maruti Suzuki or Mercedes Benz. Okay, Mercedes Benz is Germany-based company. If they want a company in India, so they will not name it company with director's name. Mercedes is globally Mercedes. They'll use the same name everywhere. So they get a preference over that. If it's a global name, so they'll get the name of that particular name. A letter is NOC is required from that entity that yes, this is our baby only, our extended arm, which we are registering. Okay. So the name application. Secondly, whosoever is a foreign director not residing in India, two things are to be kept in mind: dean and digital signature documents and subscription pages of memorandum of association. Okay, those are to be certified by apostille and notary of foreign country. यही सिर्फ additional requirement है foreign company, foreign nationals के process में. New company requires at least one Indian director has to be there. Okay, so whenever you register a company with foreign nationals, याद रखना है हमेशा there are special provisions, incorporation rules prescribed for them as regards certification of their documents, as regards digital signature application form, as regards attestation of their documents, and as regards their witnessing pages कि मैंने ये sign किया है. So the notary and apostille, generally this is the rule. There is an exemption also if a person of Indian origin has visited in India, or if a person has visited. As regards foreign certification is required. Always keep that in mind. Time required. Currently, the time required is it varies from 5 to 8 days. Earlier, it used to take 20-25 days in the month of March because of this COVID and all, because they are also still working from home. But 9 to 10 max 10 days are required, provided all documents. Fees and stamp duty up to 15 lakhs. There is no fee. Stamp duty, like in the state of Maharashtra, generally is the highest stamp duty. So for 5 lakhs. 7 lakh रहेगा to 2000, 10,000 रहेगा to 10 lakhs रहेगा to 2000. And again, minimum capital requirement is not there. You can now register a company with paid up capital of 10 rupees also. So no issue with that. We'll proceed. बीच में ऐसा pause लेके 2-minute question ले लूंगा मैं, but we'll proceed with we are done with company formation. I think the practical aspects I have touched upon. Regarding the sequence, training sequence, the manner you will carry out the assignment, I'll tell you that sequence is firstly, whenever an assignment is given to you, what happens with my trainees? I tell you the bad habit which they have. What they'll do, they'll Google first. See, nothing harm in that. We also Google. Okay, I also 11, after 11 years of practice, nobody is God here. So there may be certain aspects which may be untouched. But develop a habit. It's not that everything that is on Google is right. Okay, when I go to my doctor says यार तू Google पे पढ़ के आया क्या? तो उसमें तो सर्दी खांसी भी वो कैंसर में ही चली जाती है. तो Google पे कुछ पढ़ के आया तो चुप रहे, बात मत करना. Whatever I am seeing treating you, so you get what in the manner you search it, so you get the data in that direction, and always it is not reliable. I just give an example. Recently we did a merger of 11 companies. Okay, we are still in process. That's going on right now. Now there is a fantastic scheme which is being drafted. अब ये तो मैं गूगल पे नहीं डालूंगा because I have invested 2 months 3 months time day and night my chartered accountant team. तो ये scheme तो मैं गूगल पे नहीं डालूंगा कभी. Okay, so now you can understand what kind of material is there on Google. It's not that always that is bad. That is helpful. So what should be your sequence? I'll tell you. If your trainer gives you a formation assignment, first of all, find out relevant provisions. How much time merger takes? Track merger takes around 8 to 10 months, and NCLT merger takes around 12 months to 18 months. And again, because this COVID, the matter is getting delayed. But there's all fast track merger रहेगा तो RD level पे रहता है 6 to 8 months that can be completed. So coming to this topic, whenever an assignment is given to you, you have to go to the BEHR Act first. Go, okay. Then understand the provisions which are the applicable law. मेरे ऑफिस में आई टेल माय ट्रेनी ऑल्सो कि मैं बोलता हूं इसलिए ऐसा काम नहीं करना है, किसी और ने किया है, सी वी आर ऑल कंप्लायंस प्रोफेशनल्स, what we are doing is what company law says, so understand the basic text. So I showed you the company law ebook, go there, find out relevant rules, पहले relevant section पढ़ो, then we understand the relevant rules. While you are reading this, develop a habit of which forms are getting filed, develop a habit of noting that, then which forms are getting filed, how much is the fees, your trainer will be happy with you, because I used to do this in my training. My sir was also faculty like me only, I got inspired from him only, and I also teach in all colleges. But whenever with that intention यार इनके अंदर कुछ सीखने के लिए मिलेगा, तो वहाँ पे मैं अच्छा सीखने के लिए मिला, लेकिन सर हैड एन हैबिट ऑफ नॉट टू टेलिंग एनीथिंग. इफ आई आस्क सर कि सर स्पाइस प्लस क्या है, तो सर यूज्ड टू स्ट्रेट अवे से दैट नहीं यार, नहीं यार, आई डोंट नो. यार पूरी दुनिया में पढ़ाते नो, बट यू provisions, you go to the books and read it out. See, so rules, what the law is on date, the latest. Now once that process is then search the practical problems are there or not, then download the form actually, then you go to your sir and ask sir whether we have done this for your company previously. In that case you go and study those documents. So on that basis you follow this system, and that will be helpful for me to get merger assignment. I first of all go to the law, then rules, regulations, and then I find out the schemes which are there, which happen between certain companies. So that definitely helps. Moving forward, we come to the topic of share capital. Okay, we'll quickly touch upon, not theory again, theory नहीं जाएंगे, practical angle से मैं बताऊंगा आपको. Share capital, we all are aware that which steps. Okay, I'll repeat the steps, I'll tell you the steps again. इसका मैंने एक ऑफिस में चार्ट बना के मेरे लगा दिया है. First, is applicable. Okay, find out, see points की name has to be changed. I cannot call shareholders meeting. There has to be a sequence, right? I cannot call shareholders meeting without I being having in my hand. So first step is conduct a board meeting, application for availability of name, apply to the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, get the name, okay, approved. Another board meeting is conducted. Then board of directors, being a supreme authority, passes a resolution for name change subject to approval of shareholders and central government. After that, convene a general meeting. Then what are the relevant forms to be filed? Form IC24, form MGT14. Whether that requires object change or not. So ये factors आपके दिमाग में आने चाहिए तभी. So note down this, which form, MGT14, IC24. So these forms are there. What is the fee if the capital of company is huge? So earlier it was 2,000 was the maximum fees. Now recently we did name change for a company with a paid capital of 40 crores. So the fees came somewhere around 20,000 rupees. So that fees has changed now for name change. So that way all these factors you have to take into consideration, and then you also can do online research, and then the other peers, your seniors, what you have done. But you should do your homework first as far as company or any other assignment is concerned. So that was a sequence of activities which I followed. I expect you also follow. That will be helpful for you. Coming to the share capital. Share capital, you are aware that share capital of companies divided in different categories. Say 1 lakh capital is there. 10 shares of is 10 each. So this classification of capital in case of companies. We saw the kinds of capital and classification also. Classification means broadly in the financial statements, authorized capital paid up, authorized issued subscribed called up paid up. You are aware of that, these provisions. So this authorized, which is stated in the memorandum of association issued, which the board of directors under section 293 subsection 3 passes resolution, subscribe and issues. Subscribe means shareholders actually accept the offer, and offer for sale. This is an offer for sale, and this is an offer. This is acceptance. Called up is a concept used where the entire amount is not collected by the company on share application. If you remember, the board of directors have power under section 179 to make a call. Paid up share capital is which amount which is actually paid to the company and credited to your share capital account. I don't think there is much to explain this. What is important here is how to handle this practically. See, there are methods. If you remember section 23, they have categorized how and kinds of share capital. There are two kinds of shares are there: preference equity. In equity, there can be differential. Section 43. Section 23 provides for that. In case of public company, in case of private company. तो आपकी public company या private company देखना है. There are various methodologies by which fund can be collected. Okay. So in case of public company, public issue is allowed. Rights, public issue is allowed. Private placement is allowed. Private placement is a select group of people to whom we allot the shares. And then rights issue, bonus issue. Okay. Public offer and private placement. Great. And again, rights issue, bonus issue, or sweat issue sometimes. So that is allowed. In section 23, second part, if you see, except public issue, private company can issue the other methods. That is private placement is allowed. That goes under section 62(1)(c) and section 42 compliance. That is part 2 of chapter 3 will have to be complied with. Okay. Now, in that case, you have to understand carefully as to what happens as regards private placement is concerned, the difference exactly you have to take into consideration, and how these provisions are used. See, if you, I just take an example, you are practicing company, I am a practicing CS, and this practically happens. I tell you, director generally has secretaries network. Google पे भी ढूंढोगे 100 से ज्यादा कंपनी सेक्रेटरी मिल. How these affect and what advice company secretary is required. 10,000 कर लेंगे, ज़्यादा फीस लूंगा नहीं मैं. When that person comes to me, okay, when that person comes to me, I tell him, sir, this 8 crores is lying into the balance sheet. We are not allotting this to existing shareholder. कोई outsider है जिसको हम ये share allot कर रहे हैं. So that will be a preferential allotment or private placement. So that will, for that, section 42, section 6213 will have to be complied with. 2 board meetings or 3 board meetings, 1 extraordinary meeting, special resolution to be passed, CA valuation report required. If 8 crore allotment is there, CA, I tell you, charge more than 1 lakh rupees fees. Okay. Remember earlier example, 10,000 rupees was the cost. My professional fees for private placement and documentation is different. Say suppose assume it is 50,000 rupees. CA valuation का है 1 लाख 1.5 लाख रुपए, तो 2 लाख रुपए में allotment हो गई. Imagine you are a director of one company, sir, 15,000 में काम करके देता हूँ, and the another company secretary says, sir, 2 lakhs rupees is expense for this and around 3 months is required. Are they both of them wrong? No, both of them are correct. It's about interpretation. What the other company secretary in less cost is trying to do is trying to fit this into rights. If you see the provisions of rights issue, I'll not tell whether that is right or wrong. It's up to us to decide whether what you advise to your client. Okay, but just an example. So how they use right issue can be used. Offer the shareholders A or B है shares. लेकिन what they'll do, they'll offer the shares. They'll start the process of right issue. Then if you read the provisions of section 62(1)(a), उसमें से clauses है, you to set an offer if you remember. When if you remember the provisions, right issue में procedure क्या है? Existing shareholders को preferential allotment, private placement. Good question. But SEBI rules and company law also provides that for private placement कोई फर्क नहीं है. These are used interchangeably. Preferential allotment, private placement are one and the same. Okay, इसमें कोई difference नहीं है. They are same. Allotment or issue of shares with और ये they have clarified in the company law also. If you see SEBI ICDR regulations, they have clarified that preferential issue is includes private placement. So moving forward, that person is advising a rights issue to that company. Right issue में step कैसा होता है? Issue the offer, give an offer to the existing shareholders. They have a right to renounce that. They can either renounce it, तो C को दे दो, हमें नहीं C को दे दो. आ गया C पिक्चर में, C 8 करोड़ रुपए डाल देगा, प्रोसेस सिंपल हो गई. So this is the way out which people use. Okay, that's why his quotation was 15,000 and my quotation was 2 lakh. You can imagine what advice. And obviously, if you're a director, you'll think हमारे 2 लाख रुपए खर्चा क्यों करे? ये 15,000 में काम करके दे रहा है मुझे. The company will think. So this is about the. Okay, see, we discussed this section 23. Preferential allotment does not include non-convertible securities. I think yes, can be covered non-convertible securities. Preferential allotment हो सकता है. See, section 42 the wording uses securities. It's not share. Section 62 it is shares. तो वहाँ पे सिर्फ issue होंगे. 62 में security है तो preferential allotment basis पे whether convertible or non-convertible securities can be issued. The scope is very much. Okay. Moving forward, issue of shares by public company. You all, if you remember the provisions of SEBI and red herring prospectus or document or average prospectus, all those provisions will have to comply with. And then private placement. Private placement is different methodology where allotment in a year, not allotment of less than 200 people. 200 से ज़्यादा हो गया तो IPO हो जाएगा. So private placement is a select group of people to which allotment is made. Section 42, section 62(1)(c) will have to comply with in that case. Valuation report is required in that case. Okay. Rights issue, offer of shares to existing shareholders. Bonus issue, if you remember, that is a capitalization of profit. Instead of giving distributing the profits, you get additional shares. फोकट में share मिलता है. Okay. Many times it is used as a tool for increasing the number of shares into the market and the value of share automatically gets to 50% theoretically. 1200 रुपए का शेयर चल रहा है अभी 1:1 का बोनस हो गया तो 600 रुपए शेयर हो जाएगा. बाद में वो 650, 700 on the market. If you have experienced, if you have studied the, okay. Instead of dividend, yes, rightly pointed out, bonus cannot be issued in lieu of dividend. Bonus dividend की अच्छा एवजी देऊ शकत नाही. We cannot give bonus instead of dividend. We cannot give that. Private placement, private companies options available are private placement, rights issue, bonus issue, ESOPs with equity shares are there. These are retirement benefit. Here the intention is not rather employee benefit compensating schemes are there. Here the intention is not to raise money. Here is to reward the employees of the company. Okay. About allotment, I still check whether we have anything. Okay, this was about share allotment. Okay, what are the methods which share allotment takes place? And then we come to the annual filing section. Okay, in 30 seconds, I'll just see whether any relevant questions are there. Employees to whom shares are issued of private company not included in the limit of members. That's an exemption given by that's an exemption via media hai wo. Sometimes this tool can be used by certain companies. I've seen certain companies which now private companies limit is 200. Earlier it was 500. It was 50. Sorry, it was 50. तो मुझे अगर 70 शेयर होल्डर बनाने हैं तो उनको मैं एम्प्लॉय दिखाऊंगा 20 लोगों को. This type of people used to do. Why it is that? It is the legislature which have made the provision. Employee they have excluded only because of I think ESOPs. ESOP और इन चीजों में अगर किसी ने इशू किया है तो उसको मेंबर ट्रीट नहीं किएंगे. The intention of having 200 maximum limit is for outsiders. Okay. Queries that sir you're not audible. Okay. Work in a company in future or become CS, work as a trainee under PCS. There any difficulty? No, there is no difficulty. Because interview the person who is taking your interview. Okay, जो interview ले रहा है उसको आपका knowledge समझ में आएगा. Okay, आदमी जब मुंह खोलता है तो उसका knowledge समझ में आता है. एक simple में आते उनको मैं इंसिस्ट करता हूँ कि आप हाथ से लिखो आंसर्स उसका एंड उसका नॉलेज पता चलता है. वेरी सिंपल क्वेश्चन. minimum number of members in a company, what is process for sitting, what is process of, okay, how are involved. So ये सब मुझे समझ आता है उसमें. So again when you go into employment, it's not that कि कंपनी से PCS के ऑफिस से employment में जाना difficult जाएगा. No, they know in fact your knowledge is there. Partnership company laws provision, you have to register a company. Okay, please repeat. Able to give simultaneously. I understand it is difficult. Okay, it is difficult. I did my executive. Okay, resume should look like. Okay, we'll take up those questions. Allow me to run through this PPT quickly. ये पहले खत्म कर देते हैं पूरा annual filing. You might have heard the names of these forms. Yes, definitely. I basically in case is also कि what kind of I go beyond that. I'll tell you my experience. Okay, मुझे ऐसा नहीं है कि लोग मेरे ऑफिस में ही चाहिए जिंदगी भर. If at all somebody wants to leave your office, I also tell them okay कल से discontinue हो जा, तेरा अच्छा हो रहा है जिंदगी का. When and how XBRL filing is done, I'll explain that also. Okay, we do XBRL filing of big listed companies also. So I'll tell you the applicability. In the interview, I tell the trainee that what is your area of interest. बहुत बार ऐसे होता है कि बॉस जीएसटी में काम कर रहे हैं पता नहीं है, वो बंदा बेचारा ज्वाइन हो जाता है वहाँ पे और बोलता है कि नहीं यार 3 साल अभी ये 15 महीने ढकेल देता हूँ. एंड when he comes into it, जीएसटी उसके एरिया का इंटरेस्ट नहीं है और मेरे पास बॉस के साथ कंपनी लॉ था ही नहीं. I see many company secretaries like this. Okay, की गाड़ी अलग गाड़ी चली गई है. So in that case, I help sometimes very geographical inconveniences there. So suppose पिंपरी चिंचवड से कोई बंदा मेरे पास इंटरव्यू के लिए आता है. It is around 24 kilometers from my office. So what I दे देता हूँ. If the trainee interviews me, what kind of assignments we have, he or she has every right because it's a relation and it's about your future. किसी बंदे के अंडर आप ट्रेनिंग कर उसका नाम खराब है मार्केट में तो बाद में वो आपको भी जिंदगी भर सुनना पड़ता है. इट्स लाइक आई टेल यू गुरु शिष्य परंपरा. आपके गुरु का नाम आपको जिंदगी भर साथ में कैरी करना होता है. इवन इन दिस सेशन inadvertently I took my name of guru right while explaining. So that happens, that remains for life. That is the last slide. Okay, what are the areas? Initially don't keep any choice. Learn company law and my office is at Pune only. I keep on coming at Mumbai NCLT. Now let's proceed with the topic. Okay, annual filing, annual compliances. I've covered annual filing and event-based compliances. So you as a trainee, when you go into an office of company secretary, there are certain forms. एक season होता है जब annual filing is done. क्योंकि XBRL form का यहाँ पे reference है, we'll talk about XBRL. XBRL is applicable to 3 categories of companies. Eventually, it is proposed to make it applicable to other companies also. Firstly, listed companies, everything is applicable, so XBRL is also applicable. A company having a paid-up share capital of 5 crores. So in that case, XBRL is applicable. And if a company has a turnover of more than 100 crores, so we have all categories of companies which we do XBRL filing, in which we have to purchase a software in which data feeding takes place. Okay, यहाँ पे भी since this is not my laptop, I cannot show you XBRL software. That's fine. We'll proceed. There are like digital signature agencies, XBRL agencies are also there from which we have to buy the software. It is renewed every year. In which data feeding has to be done and XML is generated. That XML is attached to the form and submitted to the MCA. Unlike scanning of documents and submitting AOC for MGT7, we submit it in XML format. So AOC4 is a form in which we file financial statements in statements audited by and cash flow statement, P&L notes, statement of changes in equity, and again your director's report annexes to the director's report, AOC2, AOC1, that is related party transaction or details of subsidiaries. So these things are to be attached along with annual filing. ADT1, ADT, that is auditor. Okay, one is a form in respect of appointment of auditor. We have a separate slide for this also. DPD3 is a return of deposits. If a company has taken a deposit, if you remember provisions of section 73 and company's acceptance of deposit rules, this is a return annually filed every year within 30 days, before 30th of June of that particular year. Okay, so DPD3 is return of deposit. This has come into the annual filing. I remember the times when I started my own practice. At that time there were only 2 forms, 20B, AOC, ACSA. So balance sheet P&L सिर्फ फाइल हुआ करते थे. Our scope has increased now. So these are the annual filing forms. Whether your company works or not, this compliance has to be done for every company. So AOC4, XBRL is not applicable to every company. MGT7, ADT1, DPD3, MSME return. This is a half yearly return, April to September, October to March. So in 30 days that has to be filed. These are the details, the latest circular of MSME, that if your company has defaulted in not paying to an MSME for more than 45 days, you have to submit a return admitting that we have, and again reasons are to be mentioned in that. So director's KYC every year you have to do 30 days from the date of AGM or closure of financial year. I'll tell you the deadlines. Okay, 30 days of annual general meeting. If your annual general meeting is not conducted, there is enough provision in the law that provisional financial statements are to be filed. For some reasons, if annual general meeting could not be held, we have some foreign companies where shareholders could not travel to India because of COVID and all. So in that case, when your AGM ought to have been held within 30 days, you have to file AOC for MGT7. For MGT7, it is 60 days. ADT1, it is 15 days. DPT3, 30 days from the date of 30th June, 6 months from the end of the financial year. Here it is 30 days from KYC is now OTP based. This is April to September. Somewhere in 30th September, KYC हो जाएगा. If you don't do that, 5,000 rupees is the fee payable. Let's come to event-based filing. You should know this annual filing. Apart from that, depending upon the class of company, Form MGT8, secretarial audit, and all those things become applicable to that particular company. Okay, but these are bare minimum case of private company. This you have to file every year. Have to comply with this every year. And event-based compliances. What do you mean by event-based compliances? We are very close to conclude. Don't worry. बहुत ज़्यादा presentation. Touch upon the practical aspects. So event-based, we already highlighted the procedure of name change. These things happen in companies where companies documentation, he has to do the filing, he has to get the clearance done. So many things happen in the company's life. Name change of directors frequently happen. So throughout the year लोग बोलते हैं ना कि यार company secretaries काम क्या करते हो साल भर आप. So this is the work which we do, and there is no, frankly speaking, there is no peak season as such. एक सीजन होता है, पूरा साल बहुत ज्यादा काम होता है, और पीक सीजन में बहुत ही ज्यादा काम होता है. तो ऐसा कभी नहीं है कि अभी slack है. And not only with me, every company secretary is flooded with work, provided he has good knowledge. Good work is always rewarded by more work. Remember, you need not do anything else if you are doing this perfectly. So name change, director change, shifting of registered office. There's a procedure for shifting of registered office. You know, though, if you remember the 4 categories, firstly within city, then one city to another within same ROC, one ROC to another ROC within same state, and one state to another state. So this accordingly the procedure has done. Recent change into that is when you're shifting from one ROC to another ROC, one ROC to another ROC. In that case, newspaper. I remember we used to do newspaper advertisement. I had brought a company from Nashik to Pune recently, and that amounts to Mumbai to Pune. And at that time, I had given newspaper advertisement. But recently, 8 companies we shifted from Kolhapur to Mumbai, Andheri. So there, we did not give newspaper advertisement. We successfully shifted those companies. So very important area. If you follow that same pattern, reading the law, reading the rules, reading the provisions, circulars, notifications, taking the guidance of senior, then reading online or other material, other stuff, and develop your own approach. In that case, that will become simple for you to handle particular assignment. Borrowings, section 73 or section 74, debentures and deposits. Those provisions are there. Deposits, anything is deposit, okay, anything is deposit unless specifically exempt. Deposit क्या होता है, कोई भी चाराने भी कंपनी में अगर आ जाते हैं, so that is deposit provided it is exempt. वो अगर exempt category में आता है, so if you remember the definition of deposits under deposit rules, section 2, so in that case how practically a company secretary handles, आपको इसके पैसे नहीं मिलेंगे को कि ये डिपॉजिट लेना है. If you say your directors, sir ये डिपॉजिट है ना हम ले नहीं सकते, so he's not happy with you. You have to find out, okay, you have to find out as to how he can do that. Yes, 2AE, right, 2E rule. Good, thanks. So you have to advise. You can imagine a situation, दिवाली है, 100 करोड़ का माल बेचा है हमने, लेकिन कैश क्रंच है बिकॉज ऑफ क्रेडिट साइकिल. अभी पैसे नहीं है, लोगों को बोनस देना है, सैलरी देनी है. A phone comes to me from the director stating that Sandeep, we have to distribute salary. One of my friend is ready to lend me money. So can we take that money and distribute the salary? So if you say, sir, ले सकते हैं, सैलरी मत दो लोगों को, 2 महीने के बाद दे दो 100 करोड़ आने के बाद. You can imagine what will happen in that company. दिवाली के टाइम पे सैलरी नहीं मिलेगी, बेचारों को बोनस नहीं मिलेगा, and how your impression will be at employer. So you have to give a solution to your employer in that case by using the provisions. You can use these provisions. See, practically theory में आप लिखते थे कि what is deposits. In practical you have to see how these provisions can be utilized. Okay, so in that case we can say, sir, appoint him as a director in the company. So if he is giving the money out of source, खुद के पैसे से दे रहा है, वो बाहर से उसने कहीं नहीं लिया है, appoint him as a director. Or there are several via medias available. Appoint him as a director. Or if not, ask him to give it from his company. तो ये डिपॉजिट में नहीं आएगा कहीं पे. If you remember the deposit rule, that exempt category of deposit is when one company gives money to another company, that is exempt deposit. So in that case, that is allowed. Okay, ICD, great, fantastic. Only thing is that 160, 186 have to be complied with. So these are the way outs. These are the exemptions which should be able to. You should be able to. आपको loophole नहीं ढूंढने. आपको whatever management law allows you, you can advise. So that's your role. This way you can give value addition to your management. Loan investment security guarantee is there. Now several private companies exemptions are issued. So 186. If your company is giving loan, giving investment, giving guarantee or security to any person, in that case, section 186 will have to be complied with, and approval will have to be taken beyond that particular limit. Okay, under old Companies Act it was 372A section. Under the new provisions it is 186. Okay, this is only resolution. One of the resolutions were unanimous. Process, whatever limit is prescribed in that, if that is process, shareholders permission is required. So also, so we'll discuss audit at that time. CS appointment is there along with board meeting. Yes, no RBC, I didn't get you by this, but fine. So CS appointment, conversion of company from one kind of another, converting a private company into LLP, LLP into private company, public to private, private to public, regular company to section 8 company. This can happen. Which book of company law we take during the training? At the beginning only I showed you the e-book. अपना e-book है MC के ऊपर, carry a bear act, develop a habit. Our institute study material is awesome, fantastic. You won't believe, throughout my training I used to carry my study material. Even today if you check my bag, अपने institute का study material मेरे bag में मिलेगा. Not because I am teaching at OTC, it is because it's good, it's fantastic. So carry a bear act, okay? Carry a bear act or our institute study material while you go to the office of your trainer. Keep that and always keep reading that. Develop a habit of reading. Alteration of share capital, that is increase in authorized capital, reduction of capital, buyback of shares. So that kind of, these are event-based activities. Charge registration, when a company borrows money and charge is created on the assets of the company. In this charge is created, in that case, authors Dr. K.R. Chandra's books are based. Okay, Dr. K.R. Chandra is there. Ramaya is there. That is a big book. Ramaya at student phase, if you can afford, that is good. But abhi leke mat rakhna. When I started practicing, after 2 years I could afford that. 18,000 का book था वो तभी. So very difficult, but fantastic piece of presentation. Company लोगों को solution चाहिए. That book runs into 15-20,000 pages. 9 volumes में आता है वो. Ramaya, Datta, Chandratre Ghosh और Chandratre sir's book. Practice manual के छोटे-छोटे book Chandratre sir के होते. Okay, now it is 25. Oh बाप रे. But I'm going to buy sometime. Not right now. A few amendments are coming there, but if I share my NCLT stories, that is more helpful. Ramaya is more helpful. I argued in the matter and I won that matter because of Ramaya's one clarification in case laws. Okay, so these are event-based compliances you should keep in mind. Apart from that, several other compliances are there. Moving forward, audit, accounts, auditor appointment. I'll quickly run through this also. Okay, assuming 10 minutes we have and extended 10 minutes we have, I'll cover up this all. What do you mean by financial statements? Balance sheet, P&L. In case of income, section 8 company, income and expenditure, cash flow statement, statement of changes in equity, notes to accounts, cost records is applicable. Okay, and cash flow statement is not applicable in case of section 8, not applicable in case of private companies. Okay, so see, I tell you, somebody posted that right now you have tremendous knowledge. See, I tell you what helps me. Okay, while starting, I told you I worked with PCS firm or companies, different CAs, and along with my degree, I also have practical exposure. How dare I? Okay, how I led to enter into practice at the age of 24, because I had experience. Nobody can see that at my age nobody has an experience of 19-20 years, because 12th standard के बाद ही मैंने ऑफिस ज्वाइन कर लिया. इंटर में थोड़ा टाइम लगा उसकी वजह से, but I got to see the world. I got exposed to the world. I got to know what is client's requirement and how things work, and I had decided I had to enter into practice only. I had 2 opportunities of employment. Still I went into practice only, quitting that. And for me, considering my background, it was very difficult to quit or say no to a company paying me 30,000 in initial days. 2,500 stipend हुआ करता था तभी, switching over to 30,000, so that was very difficult decision, but I took that, and now 4-5 company secretaries work under me. So that's great, and they're happy basically. They also learn. That's the potential of our institute, and institute की महिमा है जो कुछ है वो. Okay, then talking about accounts, these are accounts which are required to be maintained by the company. Coming to the auditors, okay. Auditors, financial audit, secretarial audit, cost audit. Again, management audits are also there, but we focus on company law provisions relevant to us. Financial audit, mandatory for all the companies, whether it may be small, big, private, any kind of company. Okay, internal audit is also there. Yes, amazing. Internal audit norms are also there. Not applicable to all companies. I think it's 200 crores now. So internal audit is also validating job. We sometimes, in case of CA internal audit firms, we act as a team, part of internal audit team, where systems are verified. It's not that mistakes are found out; those are found out. But internal audit focuses more on systems. क्या गलती हुई है नहीं है, ये क्यों हुई है? That is what the scope of internal audit is. Okay. So coming to secretarial audit provisions, if you see secretarial audit, cost audit, company law says the provisions of financial auditor mutatis mutandis apply. Okay, mutatis mutandis apply to the company. Yes, corporate governance audit is also there with PCS, small companies, or frequency. PCS also have a corporate governance audit. We do secretarial audit for listed companies also. But in general balance, you will require this information: to which company secretarial audit is applicable, cost audit is applicable. You can go through this. Okay. These are the norms, criteria. So in the audit, it is only financial audit where even there is no single rupee turnover. Okay. Still that accounts of a company are to be audited by financial chartered accountant basically. So it's the interest area which Chartered Accountants Institute has protected, and definitely they give valuation. They have a scope to play. Sometimes it becomes injustice if non-operating companies are there, like LLPs. 40 lakhs turnover criteria is there where audit is not required. So some kind of exemption has to be there, but I don't think that will happen. That's fine, but. So this was about audit, okay, and let's talk about auditors quickly. One slide we'll discuss first auditors. You are aware about these provisions, okay? Yeah, 25 lakh contribution, 40 lakhs is the turnover. In case of LLPs, audit is required. Otherwise, no audit required. In case of auditor, let's come to the provisions of auditors now. And auditors, first auditor to be appointed by the board of directors. It is only where 2 places where directors are authorized to do that, because auditor is independent and external agency. Understand, auditor आया क्यों है? कंपनी के compliance के लिए नहीं. कंपनी ने क्या किया है वो गलती निकालने के लिए आया है. He submits his independent report to the company and to the ministry. So audit board of directors cannot play much with the auditor's provisions. It has in good interest they have been given a power of appointing an auditor for 1 year and filling up a casual vacancy. Apart from that, 5 years appointment of auditor can only be done by members. So auditor's provision considering today, first appointment auditor has to be appointed within 30 days from the date of formation of a company. Okay, in that case, some company secretaries follow practice of filing Form 81. Some do not file that, considering the interpretation of provisions of at that meeting. Some believe that only general meetings forms are to be filed. Okay, board of directors appoint them. Before appointment, the provision talks about a consent and certificate has to be taken from them, and only then the appointment is placed before the board of directors. Okay, so उसका term रहेगा up to first AGM. From first AGM, the auditor has to be appointed till 6th AGM. Recent के लिए अपॉइंट करो और हर साल रेटिफाई करो. Process to their provisions. Okay, that's sir in the interest of all. This is the correct procedure. So it is where you advise many professional institutes or professional bodies also, and development. So it's to know the provisions. Okay, provisions are there. So if you have added knowledge, value-adding knowledge, you can definitely be utilizing that and helpful for you. Okay, so auditor's appointment, subsequent appointment is for 5 years, and 181 form is filed for 5 years only. Rotation of auditor, though that is applicable only certain classes of companies, if you remember. Okay, public companies, I think 2 crore, 20 crores or more, or turnover at loan criteria is there. Okay, no, as of now, whether fortunately or unfortunately, there is no rotation for secretarial audit. Huh? So secretarial audit में rotation नहीं होता है. That is not applicable to us. Financial audit, it is there. This all happened after Satyam case and Vijay Mallya cases, Satyam case and Sahara case. These were the basically big cases which forced us to amend the law, so forced the government to think over the legal structure, and that's why these kind of provisions were added. Auditor was not necessary because auditors were also having a hand in glove situation in the fraud which was committed in Satyam. Many, or even Enron Ghotala, if you remember, that Anderson was an audit firm, big firm. So because of this rotation provision is there for big firms. The resignation of auditor, okay, 83 has to be filed, then EOGM has to be taken. Here the board of directors or any casual vacancy, if resignation is there, approval is also required. In case approval by EOGM is also required in that case. Removal of auditor, generally never do that. Mutually you resolve it unless there is a serious issue. Removal of auditor, how ministry views that. Yeah, 84. And how ministry views this removal of auditor as a serious offense. बहुत बार रिमूवल तब है जब ऑडिटर को क्वालिफाई कॉन्ट्रावेंट एनी प्रोविजन दैट डिपॉजिट एक्सेप्ट किया इन कॉन्ट्रावेंशन और 186 का रिपोर्ट हो गया या लोन टू डायरेक्टर्स इज गिवन without taking shareholders approval. So any contravention is there and he wants to qualify that and directors don't take qualification. generally ये off the record बोलता हूँ, company, any company is not happy that you are paying the auditor and he's working for government, but yes, he's working for government. So in that case auditor और company में झगड़ा होता है, ये झगड़े देखने के लिए मिलते हैं. In that case this application goes to the regional director, and practically I'll tell you how it happens. It goes to the regional director, and regional director calls upon both the parties, the company also and the auditor also. अब बता क्या हुआ इसमें? And after understanding the situation, because there is a possibility that fraud is going on, and auditor ministry relies on auditor को comfortable नहीं है, झगड़ा है मतलब कोई कुछ तो गड़बड़ है फाइनेंशियल्स में कंपनी के, तो कंपनी इज viewed many times as culprit. It's not always the case, but generally auditor जा रहा है considering his work. In that case already understands that, and after that approval is received. Normally it takes 2 to 3 months for this approval. Headache. Advisable to settle the issue mutually. Never go for this. Charges, we'll quickly touch upon these process. Only 7-8 slides are there. Okay, we'll wrap up in 5 minutes and we'll give whatever time you permit me for questions. I wanted to answer all your questions, but sorry we started late. Coming to charges. Okay, charges is the creation of charge, modification charge, satisfaction of charge. You're aware about this decision when charge on assets of a company. Always remember assets of a company. Many company secretaries do mistake, many trainees do mistake. Asset co-applicant होता है और asset director के दिए होते हैं as a security and guarantee. In that case charge चढ़ता नहीं है कभी. One more important tip I like to give here. Many company secretaries after 3-4 years practice they commit a mistake on this. They don't know difference between mortgage and hypothecation. वो charges listed. उनको लगता है कि charge का agreement आ गया, sign कर दिया, form भर दिया और submit कर दिया. What happens? Generally a loan is there. Always understand this. Term loan and cash credit facility is there. Loan के 5 करोड़ का लोन है, 2.5 करोड़ का कैश क्रेडिट है, 2.5 करोड़ का ओके 2.5 करोड़ लिमिट है और 2.5 करोड़ का इज टर्म लोन. इन दैट केस मेनी कंपनी सेक्रेटरीज कमिट अ मिस्टेक, दे फाइल अ सिंगल फॉर्म, एक ही फॉर्म फाइल कर देते हैं वो. व्हाई? 5 करोड़ लिखा है. अरे बॉस, देयर आर 2 different dates, different agreements or different facilities. What happens with cash credit? Cash credit, if you remember, it's a working capital facility. The way company grows over a period, so that limit gets on increasing. Okay, तो cash credit का लिमिट हमेशा बढ़ते जाता है. Okay, sorry, I'll use English. The cash credit limit keeps on increasing, and the term loan over period EMIs are paid and term loan gets reduced. So at 5 years, term loan is satisfied, closed. How do you file form CAG4 then? Okay, how do you CAG4 then if satisfaction has taken place? So that becomes very difficult.
Hello.
Between that, ma'am, any instruction for me?
So can we start? Sir.
Yes, am I audible now? I think I lost the connectivity. Hello?
So you are audible, sir. You are audible.
Hello? Yes, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So should I continue for 10 minutes or?
Yes, sir, sir, we have received lots of questions from the students.
Ma'am, your voice is breaking. I'm sorry. So do you want me to go to questions directly? Am I audible to everybody? I am not able to understand whether my internet is slow or. Yeah. So do you want me to go to chats, right? You go to the chat section.
The question, you have to answer that. Okay, sir.
Please tell me, ma'am. Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Yes, ma'am. Now you're audible.
TCS is required for DIN. Am I audible? Okay.
Now you're audible, ma'am.
Is sign of TCS is required for DIN application?
Sign of TCS is not required for DIN application now.
Okay. Next is full form of MGT.
MGT.
Yes, sir. Full form of MGT.
Actually, see, there is no full form as such for that form. That is form under management and administration rules. Okay, or meetings and powers and board rules. So that's why that nomenclature is used.
Okay. So the questions I'm asking you are asked by the students. Okay,
yes, ma'am, please.
Okay. Is it necessary to form a partnership to become a TCS?
No, to become even I am not a partnership firm. I am a sole proprietor. So you can practice as a solo proprietor. You can have a partnership. It is advisable to have a mega firm. Considering the volume of work, it becomes a good synergy if you have a big firm. But you can start as an individual firm. Okay.
Okay. How many DIN are allotted to a private company at the time of incorporation?
It is, I think, maximum 3 DINs are allotted. 3. Even I am having 7 directors. 3 DIN will be allotted.
Can we have digital? Okay. Can we have multiple digital certificate in one token?
Yeah, you can have multiple digital certificate in a single token. एक single में ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा DSCs हो सकते हैं. It carries that.
Can digital signature certificate?
Yeah, digital signature you can have multiple. Just to give an example, एक token में, if this is a token, so a husband and wife who are director, both of them can use single token for their both DSCs. दो DSC एक में ही हो सकते हैं एक token में ही.
Okay. Okay. Sir, can the students can obtain digital signature certificate?
They can obtain, there's no issue.
Okay. Does regulation approval required before incorporation or after incorporation before forming the company?
Yeah, I'm trying to interpret this question. I think the questioner wants to ask that if your company is a category of company which requires a special approval after your formation, like NBFC, insurance company, banking company, I tell you how the process goes. You have to register the company as it is, like a private company. At that time, you have to give an undertaking that after formation, I'll obtain necessary approval of necessary authority. If you are into telecommunication, then telecommunication authority approval has to be taken. If you are a NBFC, RBI approval has to be taken, but that is obtained later on. The only thing is seen, TRA, right? The only thing which is seen is your net worth. Capital criteria, the authorized capital has to be kept accordingly. ROC advises that if you submit a form and you wish to register an NBFC with 1 lakh rupees, they'll not allow you to register the company. Okay?
Okay, sir. Right, sir. How to calculate registration fee?
Registration fees, okay. Registration fees, I would prefer you. There are rules, okay. MCA fee rules are there. Firstly, you can, if you have internet access, you can go to MCA website. You can calculate the fees, mentioning the form, mentioning the scene of the company, or on the basis of rules, without going to MCA website, by studying the rules, they have given. Say, for example, if the capital of a company below 10 lakhs rupees, then 300 is the fees, and depending upon the delay, so you yourself can calculate it, and the facility is also available on MCA website.
Okay, sir. The next is prepare MOA and AOA based on the specific company.
Ma'am, sorry, your voice
Okay,
break. Can you
I'll
please
go to the
repeat?
next question. I cannot understand the question actually. Next question is, does tally knowledge required for a CS? Does
No, for
tally knowledge
CS,
required?
yeah, for CS, tally knowledge is not required. But from my personal experience, I tell you, it generally helps you when you are conducting an audit. When you
Yes.
want to verify
For
financials of a
accounting work,
statement,
for accounting related work, I think that
accounting
is required.
related means audit related. We don't
Yes.
do accounting services. I myself have tally knowledge because I have worked in CA firms, and that helps me in order to find out the figures of unsecured loan, remuneration paid to directors. So balance sheet reading is a separate area. This
Good to
knowledge
have,
helps you.
we can say that it is good to have tally.
It is good to have a tally knowledge. It's not mandatory.
Uh, about
Yes, employment and practice. I'm sorry, your voice is breaking. Are students able to hear me?
PCS, PCS in employment or PCS in practice. Sorry, CS in practice or CS in employment. It's advantage.
Ma'am, your
Audible, sir? There is some connectivity issue, sir. I can't hear you. Sir, I can't hear you. I can't. I think there is some connectivity issue. Am I audible, sir?
Ma'am, you are audible. I think.
I'm audible, sir. I can't actually. You are not audible. Issue. I think there is some internet issue.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You are. Sir, you can hear me? Can you hear me, sir?
मैम सर के पास कनेक्टिविटी का इशू है कुछ.
ये राजीव जी क्या करें?
मैं क्लोज कर सकते हैं.
क्लोज कर देते हैं.
यस मैम.
एक बार उनको एक बार कॉल करिए. queries and if you need any clarification, then you can mail us, okay, at etraining@icsi.edu, okay, so that we can answer all your questions. And we think the session is very much knowledgeable and give you a depth knowledge about company law. Sir, am I audible? Am I audible? Okay. Give you a depth knowledge regarding company law. And students, all the best for your bright future, and all the best from team ICSI. And we are closing the session. And if you have some queries, then please mail us.